A gravar? Já está, claro. Então, olá a todos novamente, estamos de volta, já estamos a entrar na última parte do nosso Congresso CEFAD. Tenho aqui comigo aquelas que foram as vedetas da manhã, falta-lhes a terceira, que é o Daniel. Portanto, está aqui o Daniel, está em espírito. E o Daniel, a Diana e a Sara são a equipa Pilates, portanto, foi quem deram os workshops de Pilates da parte da manhã. E pergunto às duas, balanço, foi positivo? Tiveram imensa gente, né? Teve imensa gente. Como é que foi? Foi muito prático e o que é que acharam? Acharam que a malta gostou, não gostou?
Tentámos, eu no meu workshop
Continua, acho que isto tem que ser
tentei
assim.
Que fosse muito prático, porque acho que faz todo o sentido que sintam o trabalho no próprio corpo. O Pilates é muito de experiência, não é? De sensação corporal, do feedback que nós temos do exercício no corpo, e portanto tentei que fosse essencialmente prático. Enquadrei apenas a parte mais teórica com o tempo que era possível. Obviamente isto era um tema que dava para explorar horas, mas pelo menos o feedback que eu tenho, e também nós aprendemos sempre nestas formações, e a partilha de experiências nisto é o mais importante, portanto acho que o feedback foi positivo.
Boa. E tu, Diana, tu trouxeste as bandas, né? Que também é uma
Sim.
coisa que nós abordamos num dos nossos cursos, que é os pequenos materiais. O que é que achaste? Como é que foi a recepção da malta?
Eu achei que eles experienciaram uma forma diferente de trabalhar no Pilates, perceberam que têm uma consciência diferente do corpo e podem fazer coisas diferentes, especialmente nas aulas, tem ali muita coisa. Como diz a Sara, foi pouco tempo, porque havia ali muita coisa que nós podíamos explorar, mas acho que passei de uma forma simpática e leve, porque deram um feedback e a forma como eu passei foi uma forma muito fácil de memorizar e de dar aso a fazer isso nas aulas deles. Por isso eu acho que o feedback foi bom. E como primeira vez que estou aqui, é um grande feedback.
E acho que foi uma grande estreia, porque também foi a primeira vez que nós demos. Normalmente tínhamos um workshop, nos outros tivemos um workshop Pilates, e este ano decidimos dedicar todo um momento, né? Foi uma manhã inteira, uma sala inteira só para Pilates. Também temos mais a oferta neste momento formativa, portanto também obviamente fazia sentido, mas acho que foi uma aposta ganha, né? Tivemos imensa gente, quase todos fizeram, desde o primeiro workshop com o Daniel, depois com a Sara, que até trabalharam os dois em conjunto, né? Houve ali uma continuidade, e depois terminaram contigo, Diana. De certeza que saem daqui com muita coisa para aplicar já na aula segunda-feira. Segunda-feira eles podem já aplicar, né? Foi muito prático.
Mas os nossos alunos também estão receptivos a esta parte que antes era muito associada só às patologias ou às pessoas mais de idade. Acho que cada vez mais estamos conscientes que isto é um método de treino complementar a outros, mas que é um método de treino excelente. Acho que faz sentido esta aposta.
Dá para ver que estiveste atenta à palestra aqui do Daniel,
Claro,
não foi, Daniel?
Complementam-se.
A gente depois vai lhe dizer para ele ir ver ao YouTube só para perceber que participou,
Ele foi
não é?
mencionado.
Então, é assim, arrisco-me a dizer que vamos ver-vos mais vezes, a vocês e ao Daniel, mas o Daniel noutra versão, nos próximos tempos, né? Vamos aparecendo. Olha, meninas, muito obrigado, divirtam-se no resto do Congresso, está bem? Obrigado. Fiquem aí, daqui a bocadinho temos o nosso convidado, o último convidado, não só do podcast, mas também do Congresso, o nosso Nick, o Sleep Coach, veio diretamente da Inglaterra para estar aqui connosco. Portanto, divirtam-se e um grande abraço. Okay? Um dos nossos palestrantes mais especiais do dia, o Nick Littlehales, veio diretamente do Reino Unido, fresquinho, está cá para falar sobre o sono e de que maneira que o sono é fundamental e é muito importante para aquilo que é performance, desempenho desportivo, mas também na saúde dos nossos clientes, dos nossos atletas. Como é óbvio, tal como a palestra que ele vai dar daqui a instantes, vamos conversar um bocadinho em inglês. Okay? Qualquer coisa, se tiverem dúvidas, depois mandam uma mensagem, comentem, nós depois ajudamos a traduzir se houver essa necessidade. Okay? So, Nick, I was telling people, introducing you a little bit. Tell us and tell everybody out there, what will you talk about today? What will be your talk about?
I think the subject is focused on sleep, like all human beings do, but it's trying to redefine what that means to us all. So it's trying to make us feel a little bit more proactive about it. Like other aspects of performance, like hydrating, exercising, and nutrition, is try to put it as a health pillar in that particular space, because we don't want to be wasting the hours that we allocate to sleep. We want to be able to optimize those hours to help with all of our other performance metrics. So we're going to try and open that up today for the audience.
Okay, so I'm focusing on what you said about optimizing the hours of sleep. That seems very interesting. How can we optimize the hours of sleep?
I think you first of all, which is something that does not follow all the normal education processes.
Okay.
So it's not talked about, it's not investigated that much. It's a little bit different today. There's a lot more focus around sleep. But the principle is why wouldn't you want to find out just how many hours or cycles that you actually require to provide all the natural recovery that you get, both mentally and physically from sleep? Why do you just think so many hours is good enough, instead of trying to find out just how many hours or how many cycles or how to unlock the restorative sleep that we all look for when we go into that sleeping period? So it's like in everything else we do, should we be on that treadmill for an hour or 30 minutes? Should we hydrate this amount of water per day? We know a lot about so many things, but basically most people get towards the end of their day, and as long as there's enough hours left, they'll go to sleep, and off they go. So optimizing is finding out how to get all the benefits from it.
And the way you are explaining this, it seems to me, it's like, I'm a personal trainer, so it's like a workout plan. So your workout plan, it's not the same that her workout plan. So everybody has an individual perfect sleep optimization time and behavior. Yeah.
I think when I sort of started out a long time ago, we've been able to develop that mindset.
Okay.
So yes, of course, there's lots of common themes between us as humans, male or female, but what we choose to do socially, our occupations, our friends, our influences, that's what creates those variabilities in different people. So different sports create variabilities. So it's looking at all of those things to pinpoint the key factors in play that will help you optimize your sleep, not waste those hours.
Okay. Yeah, because I do this myself. The way you are explaining this, most of nights I waste my sleep hours because I'm not thinking.
It's not unusual.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's a lot more awareness. There's a heightened awareness about sleep over the last sort of decade, 5 years. We've got the trackers that manage sleep, but in a lot of cases, the sort of trackers, we love to measure stuff, but sometimes if you're collecting too much data in areas that you don't understand, it creates anxieties and stress. So you can't go from, wasting your hours of sleep mindset that you've just mentioned, to going from there to suddenly tracking it like you would track something you know a lot about.
Yeah. I feel you.
So it's kind of like, what does that mean? How does it play out?
What do I do?
How can I do that? And of course, you've got a world that is 24/7 plus. It's a global world. It is absolutely 24 hours a day. So we've got shift workers. We've got, never mind doctors and nurses and pilots who work night shifts and multi-schedules. A lot of people today, even like in sport, the schedules are so demanding with travel, with training sessions, the amount of events, the social media intrusion. So there's nowhere they can go where they're not being filmed by something. And they have no control over that, which means there's a strong mental side to it. So if you're not focused on certain things every day that allows your brain to optimize the hours you're asleep, because you're not in control of it, that's where we go, looking for those performance gains.
Okay, and this is where a sleep coach like you enters, you help people, athletes. You help them.
It's kind of like a disguise for another type of coach. Because if you say sort of sleep to anybody, they go, oh, right, that thing that happens at the end of the day. But what you do is you have to create a profile of the individual. You go into all areas of their lives, into their bedrooms, into what they sleep with, where they go, what they do, what they eat, what they drink, how they think. A lot of cognitive behavioral stuff.
Really?
You know, what colors you like, what sounds you like.
The colors you like?
Yeah, because
okay.
if you want to, because I'm coaching people to sleep anywhere, right? Anywhere at all, any time of day, anywhere at all. So it's really important that all the sort of sensory things like smells. If you were brought up in an apartment in a city centre, maybe like Porto or Barcelona or wherever, then you're very used to quite aggressive noise of the city. If you put that same person in a very quiet area, they don't like it.
Okay.
If you take somebody from this sort of lovely countryside around Coimbra and their formative years, with the countryside, with the animals, like that, and then you suddenly put them in a city centre hotel trying to play a football game or an event, they don't like it because it's noise. So what you're always trying to do is, it's called the aggregation of marginal gains, which is something I was very much involved with British cycling and Team Sky and the Tour de France, things like that. Is you're looking for those little things, you know. Do you like red, or would you never wear red? You'd never choose red to wear as a colour. You'd always choose yellow or green or grey or black. So it's just trying to get that sort of feeling about that individual. So we've got a lot of familiarization going on. So when we ask the brain to go into a sleep state, create this process of stages and cycles, which is quite clinical, and to develop the shift between certain hormones and things. And we want to get this restorative deep sleep stage, which is only a small amount of any period of sleep. So it's easily missed. So we're trying to find all of those little gains that you can do every day that will all add up, so when you do release yourself, the brain goes and gets what you want it to do rather than by chance.
Okay, yeah. So tonight I get a good sleep, tomorrow I won't, and we never know. It's like a random thing, yeah.
It's no good.
And you have, of course, you have your book, and your book.
The theme was very much about encapsulating that it's not something that's unachievable for absolutely everybody.
Okay.
You know, at any age, whether you're a parent with a young child, multi-shifts, night shift workers, and also anybody on our planet. Sometimes we get a little bit too blinkered that, you know, we live in Portugal, but the Northern Hemisphere doesn't have a climate like Portugal does.
Yeah.
And you've got time zones, and you've got, so it's not sort of like a Western and a sort of Asian mindset, but a lot of the things you get told about with sleep, you know, get your 8 hours, and temperature of the room. Well, if you're in a hot country,
Okay.
some of these things just don't stack up. If you're a multi-shift worker, get your 8 hours. If you're a parent, you can forget that.
We had a terrible week this week.
Read all this good stuff about sleep, and that's really, I was in sleep industry and chairman of the UK Sleep Council, so I had a very sort of clinical sort of background, but none of it had any impact on you as an individual.
Yeah.
So hopefully, when anybody sort of reads the book, they'll kind of read it with that kind of makes sense. I actually thought I knew that anyway. I do some of those things, so keep doing them. There's some things I could change or adapt. And I think the best thing with any coach or any technique is if it's practical, if it's achievable, if it's sustainable, if it's consistent, you've got a chance. So doing things in isolation, 45 sit-ups,
Yeah.
or,
It won't do you
2.5
anything.
minutes on a plank,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then 3 weeks later you have another go. We learn from all the other things and go, right, what I say to people is, sleep is passive. Sleeping is proactive.
Okay.
So-
Okay.
I am hydrating, I'm exercising, I'm eating. It's a mental and physical proactive thing. And if you sort of go, well, this is what I do. Every day I'm sleeping. And this is when I sleep, how I sleep. This is the way I do it. These are the things that are in play to make it work. Just as if you were putting together a training program.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it
yeah.
really helps other coaches and other trainers because, with your clients and people who come along to you and they've got goals and objectives and they want to achieve them. And the first thing you don't establish is everything else about their life. And certain things like chronotyping, which is, whether you're a sort of genetically orientated to the morning phase of the day or the later evening phase of the day, like owls and larks and dolphins and bears. We're human beings on a planet.
Okay.
So let's not... So when you train, which was key in a lot of athletes' success with me, is when you train and what type of activity you do at any point in any 24 hours could make the difference between you being very, very good or just that good.
Okay.
And in elite sport, I don't get employed to make somebody the best at what they can do. I work with people that on the day when you need to, everything we've done
Needs
you're
to-
just that.
yeah.
So like a Formula One driver,
Yeah. A tenth of a second.
it's a tenth of a second. Where did that tenth of a second come from?
A lot of little
And
things.
there, and there, and there.
Marginal gains.
Marginal gains.
Yeah.
But it's great because I think anybody who read that book would start a new day feeling as though they were getting more control about it, feeling that they're doing things. So it's never going to be perfect. It's never going to be that consistent. There's too many variables. But if you feel every day that you're doing the right things, it stops you worrying about it. And I think everybody at this conference, everybody will have thought about sleep today, but probably not in a positive way. I didn't sleep well last night. I didn't get enough hours last night. My tracker said I missed out on deep sleep. I'm feeling a bit fatigued. I've got a busy day tomorrow. I need to get to bed early and go to sleep. Will I sleep okay? Will I wake up? Will I get disturbed? Will I go to the bathroom to empty my bladder? And it's kind of like, there's no confidence there.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
no
yeah.
confidence. It's like turning up at the gym, dressed like this, and saying to you, give me a proper professional workout. And immediately you'll want to take this off, take that off.
Yeah, get comfortable, get
And stretch.
confident, and
And
prepare yourself.
Prepare yourself.
Yeah.
And said, well, what's all that about? So, well, you can't expect that to appear if you don't do any of this.
Yeah.
And it's really simple. That's the silly thing about the work I do. It's most people sort of think, oh, you must be doing really sort of scientific, clinical things and stuff. No.
Complex things.
No. The first thing I asked Cristiano Ronaldo is what colour does he like?
Okay.
Well,
What colors did he like?
I
Green?
can't tell you that. But it is, it's kind of, for all of us, this is why the trackers are extremely popular, very successful, and we love them. But we do this process. We are it's how we've been brought up through parents and ages and everything, is that we generally do this in a bedroom. A room where we've put a bed in it, so it becomes a bedroom, and that's where we go to sleep. However, it was not that long ago, before electric light, 1930s, not that long ago, where humans always followed a more, what's called circadian rhythm to their bed, with light, dark, sunset, midday, and because they couldn't illuminate or electricity, they had a very natural process. So we didn't even try to sleep in one block at night. So it's great when you wander around the world and you see sort of siesta times in certain countries.
Yeah.
You see people working multiphasic. You see people having to work at night. And you think, well, actually, if you sort of step back and use something that's more natural to us, called polyphasic sleep cycles,
Okay.
it's much easier to apply those than you think, than trying to squeeze all of your recovery into one little period, which is kind of unnatural.
Okay.
And as the human being continues to develop things, which we're not very good at good human-centric tools or techniques, we tend to create things that push boundaries, like technology, like social media, like lots of things.
But that complicates things.
It just makes it harder.
Yeah.
You know, so you say to people, shut your tech down, put your blue blocker glasses on because of the blue light. And you go, well, what are you trying to do? You're trying to protect yourself from something we invented that's not very human-centric.
Yeah. That's very interesting. Yeah, that's very
So
interesting.
it's a good challenge for the world, which is what I do in the background. And things like this is just, yes, it's great, and it's amazing. We love it. It's exciting with what we can do with all of the emerging technologies and our attitudes of stuff, and live longer and live healthier and be able to cure things and develop things we've never been able to do before. But just don't forget, if we can do as many things as we possibly can for us as humans, then we'll be okay. But otherwise, we should be the healthiest, fittest population that's ever been on this planet. We should be.
We should be, yeah.
Should be.
Yeah, there's no excuse
Look
for
at
that.
the statistics,
Yeah.
and it's completely opposite. You've got, wherever you look, mental health and well-being, suicide, this, that, wherever you go, obesity, whatever it is, the stats are just way up. But, you know, even when I was wandering around as a teenager, a personal trainer was unheard of.
Yep. We didn't exist.
It didn't exist. Sports science didn't exist.
Yep.
Tracking didn't exist. Nutrition, not even a word. You know, and so you sort of, and that's not that long ago. So it's really important that we don't forget that for a human being to be fully optimized in every way, however that may look, is we must use some of this to not slow the process down, but for heaven's sake, create space for us.
Yeah, that's a great way to finish. Nick, I'm excited to see you, and now I've got even more excited because I'm seeing sleeping the way I see training, or at least you show me that. So I think this is going to be very interesting, okay?
Okay.
Thank you
Thanks very
once
much.
again.
All right.
Nick, go prepare yourself. Thank you.
Thank you.
And pessoal,